You left. You packed the bag, you blocked the number, you told yourself, this time it's over, and then you went back. Not because you're weak, not because you're stupid, not because you don't know better. Your brain was rewritten. There is a documented psychological process used by narcissists, studied in labs, validated across thousands of clinical cases, that makes leaving feel neurologically impossible. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why it happens and how to recognize it before it happens again. This isn't about loving someone too much. It's about what happens to your brain when a specific type of person enters your life and systematically dismantles your sense of reality. Narcissistic relationships don't end when you leave. They end, if they ever end, when you understand what was done to you. 5 psychological mechanisms, all documented, all used in combination, and all designed, consciously or not, to make you impossible to free. It starts before you even suspect anything is wrong. Love bombing is the opening move. Intense affection, constant attention, grand declarations of love within weeks, sometimes days, of meeting. I've never felt this way about anyone. You're the only person who understands me. I knew from the moment I saw you. It feels extraordinary because it's designed to. In 2020, a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that love bombing creates rapid, disproportionate emotional attachment, what researchers called premature intimacy bonding. Your brain interprets this flood of validation as proof of exceptional compatibility. But love bombing isn't a feeling, it's a transaction. The narcissist is building a debt. The more you receive, the more you feel you owe. The more you owe, the harder leaving becomes. Takeaway: love bombing isn't love. It's the creation of an emotional ledger you'll spend years trying to balance. But the love bombing is just the first layer. What happens next is what truly locks you in. After the love bombing comes the first withdrawal. The warmth disappears. The attention stops, without warning or explanation. And your brain, flooded for weeks with dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, goes into withdrawal. This is not a metaphor. It is a neurochemical event. Researcher Judith Herman, in her landmark 1992 work, Trauma and Recovery, documented that repeated cycles of tension, abuse, and reconciliation create a bonding mechanism in the brain that is functionally identical to addiction. It's called trauma bonding. The bond doesn't form despite the pain. It forms because of it. When the narcissist returns with affection after a period of coldness, the relief your brain experiences is disproportionately intense, far more powerful than any normal positive experience would produce. You are not addicted to the person, you are addicted to the relief. Takeaway: trauma bonding transforms your brain's stress response into a mechanism for attachment. The more painful the cycle, the stronger the bond. But trauma bonding only works because of something else happening simultaneously, something targeting not your emotions, but your memory. B.F. Skinner discovered something disturbing in 1957. When rewards are given randomly and unpredictably, not every time, not never, but sometimes, the compulsive behavior it creates is the strongest possible, stronger than consistent reward, stronger than consistent punishment. He called it variable ratio reinforcement. We know it today as the mechanism that powers every slot machine ever built. Narcissistic relationships run on this exact engine. Some days, warmth, affection, the person you fell in love with. Other days, coldness, contempt, silence that lasts for days. You never know which version you're going to get. And that uncertainty, that unpredictability, hijacks the same dopamine pathways that make gambling addictive. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that unpredictable reward schedules produce stronger emotional dependency than stable ones, even when the total amount of positive experiences is identical. Takeaway: you are not chasing the person. You are chasing the next hit of the good version, the one that comes just often enough to keep you playing. You understand now why you can't walk away. But there's one more mechanism, and this one is the most insidious of all. Most people believe that if they understood the manipulation, they would leave. Research disagrees. A 2016 study by Jennifer Freed at the University of Oregon found that victims who had a clear intellectual understanding of their abuse patterns showed no significant increase in likelihood of leaving, because the trauma bond operates below the level of conscious decision-making. Knowing about the trap is not the same as being free of it. This is not a failure of intelligence. It is a feature of how the brain processes fear, attachment, and survival. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step, but it is only the first step. You know something is wrong. You also know, or believe you know, that the person you fell in love with is real. Both of these feel true. And the human brain cannot hold two opposing truths without resolving the conflict. Leon Festinger described this in 1957. He called it cognitive dissonance, the psychological discomfort of holding contradictory beliefs simultaneously. When you try to leave, you are not just fighting your feelings. You are fighting your brain's desperate need for internal consistency. The narcissist provides an easy resolution. You're imagining the bad parts. The good parts are who I really am. And your brain, under stress, under the influence of trauma bonding, craving the resolution of uncertainty, takes the easier path. It believes the version that hurts less. Takeaway. Cognitive dissonance doesn't make you naive. It makes you human. The narcissist knows, consciously or not, that confusion is their most powerful weapon. But the deepest mechanism, the one that erases not just your judgment but your identity, is what we're going to look at now. Narcissistic relationships don't just hurt you. They edit you. Over months and years, through a combination of criticism, contempt, gaslighting, and subtle invalidation, a narcissist systematically dismantles the self-concept of their partner. The things that made you confident, your opinions, your preferences, your social connections, become points of friction. And friction, repeated enough, wears things down. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, one of the leading clinical researchers on narcissistic abuse, calls this identity foreclosure, the process by which a person gradually ceases to define themselves independently of the narcissist's approval. When you reach this stage, leaving isn't just emotionally difficult. It feels like self-destruction, because the identity you would be leaving with, the person who would do the leaving, has been made to feel incomplete, inadequate, and unable to survive alone. Takeaway. When you can't leave, it may not be love holding you. It may be that you've been made to forget or doubt who you are without them. You cannot think your way out of a trauma bond, but you can interrupt the cycle. The research points to 5 evidence-based shifts that genuinely change the neurological landscape. Stop asking, why are they doing this to me? Start asking, which mechanism is activating right now? Trauma bonding, intermittent reinforcement, identity erosion, naming the process interrupts the emotional loop. Reconnect with who you were before, your friendships, your interests, your self-assessment from before the relationship. These are not lost, they are buried. The warm, loving person you fell for existed. They were not a fiction, but they were not sustainable because they were strategic, not authentic. This distinction is critical for breaking cognitive dissonance. Time and physical separation literally allow the neurochemical dependency to reduce. This is not weakness requiring willpower. It is biology requiring time. Trauma bonding and identity erosion require external scaffolding to reconstruct. Solo understanding rarely produces lasting behavioral change. This is what the research consistently shows. Here's the truth that the research leads to. Leaving a narcissist is not hard because you are weak. It is hard because a set of systematic psychological processes, love bombing, trauma bonding, intermittent reinforcement, cognitive dissonance, identity erosion, were applied to your brain in sequence, over time, and they worked exactly as they were designed to. You are not confused because something is wrong with you. You are confused because something was done to you. And the moment you understand the mechanism, truly understand it, not just intellectually, but emotionally, something changes. You stop blaming yourself for the trap, and you start looking for the door. If this video helped you see something you couldn't name before, share it with someone who needs it. Understanding dark psychology is not about becoming cynical, it is about becoming free. Subscribe. We post every Tuesday and Friday, because the more you understand about how the mind works and how it can be worked against, the harder you are to manipulate. Word count, 450 words. Estimated duration, 12 minutes. Sections, 8. Visual markers, 42.